In this training, we're going to take a look at the timeline view inside of SmartSuite. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. The timeline is a type of view inside of SmartSuite that allows you to look at your data, as you might guess, over time. So before we actually get into the timeline view, let's start from our grid view here. You'll notice I have to be in a solution and in an app. Of course, all views live inside of the apps themselves. So here I am inside of a solution called Marketing Campaigns, and I'm looking at the Campaigns app. Now, inside of Campaigns, I want to bring our attention to the fact that we have three different date-related fields. One of these fields, this one here, is the campaign duration. And as you might know about a duration field, it includes two different date fields inside of it. So you can see that we're spanning time here, January 4th to January 22nd, July 1st to July 28th, etc. So note that there are two different dates inside of a duration field, but we also have some other date fields as well. In this case, these are the default fields that are in any app in SmartSuite. The first created, so when was this particular record initially created, and also the last updated. Now I want to bring your attention here because all of these date fields are going to be relevant on our timeline view. Any date field you include, whether it's duration or a specific date and or time, then those particular fields can be used inside of your timeline. So let's now access that timeline view. We'll go up to the upper left and click on our views, and from the menu we will create a new view. We'll choose the timeline view type here and name it whatever you like, choose public or private, and create the view. Once inside the view, you'll see that you have the ability to determine how you want to present this data. Now for us, it's defaulted right now to the campaign duration field. Now we're so zoomed in right here, we're looking at it in days. Let's actually zoom out a little bit and look at this in months. I make that selection in the upper right corner here, and you'll see that as I drag around here, I'm looking at my data and it's spanning the duration that was assigned in that duration field. But I can change that if I'd like. If I don't want to use that particular date field, that duration or that date field, I can go ahead and make a change here by selecting the timeline view by section, and I can choose what date or dates I want to use. Now here I have the duration field type here, and so it is by default using the start and end within that duration on this particular view. But if instead I choose a singular date field, like the first created, it then also gives me the ability to determine when I want that to end. So from the first date created to what date. So if I had other dates in here, I could bring in other single dates as well. You'll also notice that I have the ability to not choose an end date, and in that case, I just get these spots on my timeline. I can also change the color of that data, so I can determine how that shows up by making the selection there. So those are the settings that are unique to the timeline view. Of course, you'll generally want to have a start and an end, or alternatively use a duration as I've done here. As a closing thought, just know that you can also drill in and change the level of granularity. So you can break it down all the way down to the hour or zoom out to days, weeks, and subsequently months to view your data. And then it's just a simple click and drag. One other thing to note is that this blue line right here is telling us the actual date as of accessing this view, so you can look at your timeline in relation to the current date. I know we went fast here, so if you need to go back and rewatch, please feel free, and I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions about what we covered in this training, please ask them below in the comments section of this video, and until then, we'll see you in the next training.